Good morning, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday morning, October 27th, and we are looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And let's go on and talk about a little bit about what happened yesterday, and more importantly, what didn't happen yesterday. I had somebody ask me in the room yesterday, is this long-term selling? And I said, well, it's going to be hard to determine early on. Once change took place right here where we took out last week's low and started accelerating, wasn't sure yet. We have to keep an eye on it. But after seeing what happened in the last 4 time frames and seeing where we are today, even though the volume was 91 million shares yesterday, for me all this was week longs getting out from a 5-day balance once we got below it and shorts piling on. For a couple of reasons. Number one, there's no way long-term sellers would let this happen in the last 2 hours of the trading day, nor would we be back at what is now this week's go, no-go area. A nuance yesterday had turned out to be very large, and I said this in the room. When we had two-sided trade for a while, and G's high became our point of control, and from G's high we went down over $3, yet we were never able to lower this point of control and actually came back to it and ended 8 wide. Now, I like 9 wide or more, but that's still pretty impressive to have 3 sets of single prints and end 8 wide, and we're not able to lower the point of control. So what didn't happen is just as important as what did happen. Again, these are things, this was something to tell the room, hey, if you are short, especially later in the day, that was a nuance. That was certainly a nuance. So you have to keep an eye on it. It's not to say to go long. It's not to yell, sell will come. It's to teach people how to read market-generated information, learn the market profile, add it to their whatever other tools they use to have a really good arsenal to give them a best opportunity and best odds to become successful traders. That's what this trading room is all about, folks. And it's only $20 a month. So, what is going on this morning? Well, as you can clearly see, we want to talk about who's in control. Look how for the last hour, we've been back and forth through last week's low. That's our go, no-go area for this morning. So let's go over destinations and a game plan. So for the upside, since we still have 70 minutes prior to the opening, I'm going to give you all the single prints. Remember, M almost filled D's, but just left a couple. So I'm still going to give them because you never know if we come back in. 339.48 get filled at 53. Then a large set, which we are in right now. They started D's high, 339.66 get filled at 341.52. Our overnight high right now is 341.05. So basically smack in the middle of this set of single prints. Then we have another small one in B, 341.50. Get filled at 75 cents, and then yesterday's high of 342.98 and filling the gap at 343.13. Now, for the downside, until we get more market-generated information, our overnight low is 339.20, and then we don't have anything to yesterday's low of 335.62. So remember, we talked about this yesterday. After a day like yesterday with a big range, the odds of consolidation are good. Well, that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Now, I have this in 8-tick increments. Value right now, though, would be higher a little bit, and we'd still be in balance, though. So this is going to be a very visual area. So what is the game plan for this morning? I expect tremendous chop because your destinations are far and wide apart. If we fail to get acceptance, not just to trade into it, remember this week, look how many times we got into the upper distribution on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and guess what? Never got acceptance. Well, same thing here. We need acceptance. It's not just trading into it. So what's acceptance? Acceptance to me would be not only to fill these single prints from yesterday, but to stay above C's low, which is last week's low, and start one time framing up. Otherwise, all you're doing is dipping your toe into last week's range, and we still haven't gotten into the upper distribution from yesterday. So, if we're to open around this range, I would probably take a put play. Even though value would be higher to start, I want the buyers to prove to me that they can get acceptance into here and start one time framing up in B. So anywhere inside of these single prints, I would look to take a put play. I would be out if they fill, and I would certainly be out if we start one time framing up in B period. So they get filled at 341.52. I'd probably look at 342 puts that expire tomorrow. So that's what I would look at as a put play. I don't have a call play right here at this moment. Now, if we are to fill the single prints, B period starts one time framing up, then I'll look for a call play, because then I would use either A's low as my out, or if we come back down below last week's low. If we do not get acceptance into here, then the odds of coming down and testing possibly M's high become very good. And we all know the history of M. If you get accepted into M's range at any point today, well, you have an 8-wide point of control, so those odds are you're going to at least trade down to there and possibly all of M's range. Remember, there's nothing to the downside until we get more market-generated information. So if you are in my trading room, you'll be getting up-to-the-date trade ideas and how this market is performing and what we're looking for as the profile evolves. As far as the charts, I'll just show you the weekly and the daily. So here's last week's low, 340.65. That's the key. We're one time framing down for 2 weeks now. You want to get acceptance back into last week's range. If not, nothing's changed. Even though we're rallying this morning, if we don't get acceptance above that, and for me acceptance would be closing inside of there today, then nothing's changed. On the daily, we're down. Right now we're trading above the 50-day moving average. So that's one feather in the bull's cap. Here's the pre-market. However, remember, just like I said yesterday, we closed below it. One day doesn't make a market. Well, one day doesn't make a market to the upside. Look how we battled the 50-day moving average for so many days before we finally broke to the upside. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.